and getting closer. No regrets in my mind, and my heart's in my mind, and my heart's wide open. No use running out of time. It's to be over. See myself through your eyes.
Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. This is Joseph Greco with Auxiluim, episode number 8 of Ignited Podcast. I want to take a moment to share about my new book, The Memory Journey of the Heart and Mind, available on Amazon and Kindle. Go check it out. And if the description piques your interest, give it a read, grab your copy, but be sure to let me know so I give you the proper shout outs. Today, we welcome the Jesse Lyons, my longtime friend, American Idol finalist, singer, songwriter, and baker. Jesse is calling in from South Carolina, where there's surely beautiful places and smiling faces. Be sure to go check out his songs and music on YouTube and Spotify, like the song that I just played. All right, brother. So, as I always do, I share a quote at the beginning of the podcast. Today's quote comes from Plato, and he says, "Music gives a soul to the universe, wings to the mind, flight to the imagination, and life to everything." Such an amazing quote. And, this podcast is all about inspiring you to go after your dreams, to claim your best life, your true self, and unlock your potential to do great things. I hope you take away so much from this interview and hearing Jesse's story of success, his motivation to do his best in the things he pursues in music and outside of music. So without further ado, I'd like to introduce Jesse. How you doing today, man?
Hey, man, it's good to hear from you. It's been a while.
It's been too long, man. I mean, it's been a long time since I know you and I went to high school together. It's crazy. It feels like such a long time. What is it, 10, 11 years now?
It's been 11 years since I've seen you. We've talked since then, of course. We keep in touch. But, yeah, 11 years. It's crazy. It feels like yesterday.
It really does, man. Sitting in improv and stat class, goofing around. It's crazy.
You graduated in 2011, right?
Yeah. So it was the year after. So.
Yeah. I was 2010. Yeah, it's been 11 years. That's insane, man.
Time really has wings, man. But I appreciate you coming on the show, and obviously I love that we stay in touch and continue to talk and everything. That's the best part. True friends, that's what it is, right? You don't have to necessarily be present as much as you'd want to. You can pick up the phone, and like you just said, it feels like it was yesterday, and we keep in touch. And I know as we get the interview, I'll talk about some of those times that we've kept in touch. And it's just a fun thing to watch each other's journey. We've always been super motivated people, so it's great to see dreams come into fruition and, just living life,
Absolutely. Well, I feel like today is a lot different than 10 years ago because with technology and social media, I don't have to talk to you on the phone every day. I can see, what's going on. Like you wrote a book and you're in Italy now. And, it's just really cool that I still have that opportunity that it's kind of like I'm there with you in a way,
Exactly, man. I love that too. It's kind of like my aim with social media and Instagram and things and Facebook even, to, allow my friends and family who aren't here to really, to live it with me. Cause I don't have much family out here. My friends are all mostly back in the States. So I'm making new friends here, which is amazing. But longtime friends, it's nice to be able to share that and talk about it. And it's just a great experience to live it with you guys,
Absolutely.
It makes it better, like it's by myself and just holding it in, what good is it? So I moved from New Jersey originally, as I know you know, and I don't know if you knew it, but I know we went to Gilbert, but I originally was supposed to go to Lexington High. So it was a very close time. I could have never met you, which begs a point that I have that like everything, even the smallest minutest things happen for a reason. And, I went to a smaller school but the quality of people were just, we had some really good people, in that area. We still do. And
Absolutely.
Our friendship, for example, is just one, example of why I'm grateful that I made that shift. But do you miss those times, like going back in your mind, those memories of simpler times, simpler days?
I mean, yes and no. So high school was a really weird time for me. Like I have made lifelong friends and like reconnected with people, but also, um, being in a small town and being queer, it's uh, it's not the easiest thing, So I and it goes back to what you said. Like things happen for a reason, and I realized that if I didn't go through, the challenges that a lot of kids go through, high school can be really tough for a lot of people. I wouldn't be the person that I am today. I wouldn't, you know, be on the path that I'm on. I wouldn't think the way that I do. I wouldn't have the strengths that I do. Those adversities are what makes us wiser and makes us who we
Mm,
are.
absolutely, man, absolutely. And you say that it's coming from the Northeast. We're a lot less judgmental. We're more accepting than a lot of the people in the South, I have to say, because it's kind of old fashioned in that area. So I can only imagine talking to you. I know it was a struggle to be who you are, love how you want to love, and to really be a fan of you. And it's hard when your little society and community has such fixed opinions and everything. And are you
Well,
familiar
there's
with?
a lot of amazing people here too. Like, don't
Oh,
get
of
me wrong.
course, of
I
course.
don't want to, but in general, and 2020 is a lot different than 2010 or 2015 was. People are becoming open minded, and um, I don't know. I think that's something that is always going to be there. There's always going to be those people that tell you you're not okay to do this. You'll never reach your dreams. And I guess that prepared me like for the path that I'm on today because it's a hard road. I didn't choose an easy path. So it kind of prepares us.
I agree. I certainly believe that struggle is strength and adversity is advancement. And been through some storms in my own life, pretty big ones, and you come out different, and you have a choice to come out better or to come out beaten. And I mean, you could be beaten, but not really beaten, if that makes sense. Um, it's like the Rocky Balboa quote, is just keep getting up, and life ain't rainbows and butterflies. So it's great that you've chosen to take that and to grow and become something more and better from the struggles that you've had, and now you can be a support and a motivation to other people who may be struggling in similar ways, to come out and things of that sort. And I interviewed, my first interview on this podcast was with Sonia Deville, who is a huge icon in the community, LGBT. And talking to her, it was the same kind of motivation. She took that, had that experience, and then when she finally embraced and being a fan of herself and coming out, she was mostly enjoying being able to turn around and help other people who are struggling with that, who are dealing with, the parents and friends, the community, whatever the case is. So it's really great that, like you said, in 2020, these years are getting better progressively and more open-minded and accepting, because that's what I think the whole world should get to. In our country, we always try to avoid politics, but needs to take after a lot of other countries, such as here in Italy, people are a lot more embracing. It's not you're this nationality or you're this race. It's really if you're in Italy, you're Italian. If you're in Germany, you're German. So it's really great to embrace the differences and just accept people for being people. It makes the world beautiful. So
Absolutely. Absolutely.
I mean, I remember in high school you were part of the choir, very active in fine arts. You were always singing something. And was this something you knew you would pursue wholeheartedly? And what about singing, writing music in general, do you love the most?
So as far as choir, I definitely was in choir to feed my creativity. Um, it wasn't quite the kind of art that I wanted to make, and I didn't realize that at the time. I thought that classical music and choral music was the only that was realistic to do what I loved. Like somehow the idea of being a recording artist, like on the radio seems so far-fetched to me. Like I always wanted to do it. But I think after high school, I really embraced like what I wanted to do, and kind of moved into a modern time. I feel like classical music is great. I love it. Like that's where I started, but I don't think that's where society is going.
Right.
And I don't know, man. Like I really love what I do. Um, the thing that I love most is being able to do something that most people think is impossible, and it's really not. It's very achievable, but and inspiring other people and helping other people. I help a lot of people in the music industry. I write for other artists. I do top lines for electronic dance music DJs in the Netherlands a lot. Um, you know, I mentor some people. I even give voice lessons to my friends. So it's really about just, I think, trying to make the most out of what you want to do and finding ways to be creative to make it happen. I don't think you can really pursue a career like this and not have a plan and not work your butt off. It's a lot of work, but I I really feel fulfilled, like doing anything else, like the million jobs that I've had. It just never fed my soul. I went to bed empty at night. And I haven't really found the courage to pursue a career in music until like the last 3 or 4 years, honestly. But man, I'm so much happier. I'm so much happier. So even though things get stressful at times, I absolutely love what I do. I even dropped out of college. I went to college for 5 years and changed my major 3 times. Um, and then I decided this isn't for me. Like the reason I couldn't decide what I wanted to do was it's not what I needed to do, and I need to make
Absolutely.
at the end of the day. That's really, I think that's what drives me, you know?
I can see that, man. And I think that's, if you look at life like a road, it's full of exits and two-way roads. There's go one way and the other way. And the beautiful thing in life is that when you go one place, if you're on one road, you can get off the exit and go into another one or turn around. You really are the master. You have the wheel if you choose to take it. And you can, you know, redirect yourself. Like I've done it myself, and it's just amazing that you have in pursuit of your dream. Like I said, I want to help people ignite their dreams, and that's why I wanted to get you on the interview. Successful doing this and giving back. My brother's actually pursuing a career in music. He's experiencing a lot of the frustrations you're saying. He's playing in gigs, and I was trying to tell him, like if you're somewhere and you're speaking, because I want to eventually go into a bigger keynote speaking position, and you have one person or 10 people in the audience, and you touch one of those 10 people, even one, that is something to, feel good about. That's something that it is success. It is an accomplishment. And I told him when he got a gig at a place in South Carolina there in Columbia, be proud of yourself. You played in front of people. They accepted you there. They liked you. They clapped for you. Like, don't worry about like I always say, don't measure your success with society's ruler. And I try to teach my younger brothers and clients and friends that when it comes to fitness, anything in life. But we're talking about music here. And I wanted him to realize that, he already is winning. He just has to live it and enjoy the process. And better things, if they're meant to be, are going to be if you're going in that direction. So it's extremely inspiring, man. And I have to connect you guys for sure.
Absolutely, man. I would love that. I mean, I think you hit the nail on the head too with, you said enjoying the journey. Um, that's the biggest part of it. It's a journey. And I think you need to enjoy the whole process. Like a big part of being successful in this kind of field or really any field is enjoying the process to get there, like I don't want to just like be happy when I'm on top of the mountain that I'm trying to climb. You know what I mean? Or that
Exactly.
value or I have worth then. Like, I think one of the biggest things to be successful is number one, being true to yourself because people smell a phony from a mile away. You might
Oh
be
my
able to pull it
God.
off for a little, but I think if you're enjoying it, you'll never I don't want to say you'll never work a day in your life, because that's not true. I do a lot of things I don't want to sometimes
Yeah,
because
we all
I
must. We all
love what I
must.
do, you know. But yeah, that's the biggest part of it. And man, I love what you do. Like, I love following you and seeing all your different pursuits. I feel like we have a lot of energy in common, like in that we don't give up and we keep going, and we love to inspire and help other people. Like, I see that in you so much.
Thank you, man. And it's vice versa. And I think like energy attracts, and it's like magnets. You have those I forget the name of the stone, but I saw it recently at this shop, and it was cool because when you held one of the kind of stones, the other kind of stone, they're different properties, but they were attracted to each other. And so if you know what I'm talking about, it's the kind of thing they use in etch sketch and all that stuff. So but it's like live, the actual stones on a table, and you hold the other magnet above it, and you can make it like kind of rise and fall, like waves. It's really cool.
I know
But
what
the
you're
point I'm
talking
trying
about.
to yeah, the point I'm trying to make is that there's an attraction with like energy and with people as well, auras, and like you said, helping other people, inspiring other people. It's just it's inevitable. That's why I personally think on top of just being friends, we've kept in touch so well is because we both have that. We're both experiencing our drive on the Dreamway, and not only that, we're not driving a Ferrari, we're driving a bus because we want to take other people with us and show them to their own lights, their own dreams. And the idea for us, I believe, is that we want to have a chain reaction where if us pursuing our dreams is really, obviously about pursuing our dream, living our best life, but also to help other people. I think there's power and true life in by definition in giving and being grateful, and by shedding that part of yourself, and in essence shedding your dream once you accomplish it. And I think that is born a bigger dream. So back in moving on with this, kind of going along with the dreams, back in 2017, I believe that's the year you started your road to a
Yep.
Grammy documentary.
I think it was October.
Yeah, I think it was around there. I remember seeing your post, and it was
Something like that.
like I remember messaging you actually about it and saying it was so inspiring, and it's where you follow your dream to earning a Grammy, and I just love it. And it's like you achieving your goals is a certain inevitability. It's like a mindset thing. You got to have an elevated mindset, like Napoleon says, auto suggestion. It's very powerful to write things, believe in yourself, and so you're certainly working towards that. And I know that you stopped doing the road to the Grammy, but I'm still in love with it. It's still inspiring no matter what. And I'm glad that you left it on your page and everything, because it's something that is definitely going to be revisited. I know when you get to the next peak that you're climbing to, and I want to get emotional for a moment and ask you, what does this documentary mean for you when you started it? And before you answer that, I kind of wanted to share something straight from your post on Instagram that you wrote about this. And back in October, you said of that year, follow my journey as I document every single day up until I win my first Grammy. I'm in the process of making a social documentary called Road to a Grammy. In the series, I record a daily 60-second video documenting every single day until I win my first Grammy Award. Follow my journey as I experience the cloud-9 highs and the heart-wrenching lows of being an artist in today's incredibly difficult music industry. I hope this documentary inspires you, gives you strength and encouragement to achieve your own goals. Nothing is impossible. I will win a Grammy, and you can achieve your goals also. Wow. That sounds like it's written by someone who has been on the stage and received the award, actually better. So, I want to give another bravo Zulu for that, man. That's powerful. And anyone listening to that, or anyone that read that, I mean, it gives you like the chills, man, in a good way. It really conjures up a lightning in the heart. You know what I mean? So I appreciate that, and we'll go back to the question now. Like, let's talk about this. Let's talk about this documentary that you did for a while.
Well, originally, I was in Los Angeles when I started doing this, and I was talking to one of my friends who I was living with at the time. His name is Tobias Raucher. He's an amazing musician as well. And he was we were just having a heart to heart, and I told him, he's like, "What's your biggest goal?" And I was like, "Well, I want to win a Grammy before I die." Like, that to me is like the holy grail of um being successful in my mind, like where I want to go. Not that you have to win a Grammy to be successful, absolutely not. But that was what I really wanted. And he's like, why don't you just start filming videos every day talking about it? And I was like, you know what? That's a great idea. So I was doing a lot of cool stuff back 3 years ago. And I wanted to document those things because I wanted to show people and inspire people and let them know, greatness doesn't just come from nowhere. It does, but it takes a lot of hard work. Like you see all these artists that pop up on the radio, like Lizzo, for example. I love her; she's amazing.
Right.
But what these artists, it's not like the American Idol dream, like where Carrie Underwood wins American Idol and she's very successful. Most artists, that doesn't happen that way. They work for years and years behind the scenes. Like, they're, I don't want to call them losers, but they're, in a lot of people's minds, they are, because people will only take a lot of people seriously once they start seeing you become successful.
Right, exactly.
And I wanted to show people that, you have to start somewhere, and greatness can come from anywhere. And I knew that there were going to be a lot of good and bad days on my journey. And I wanted people to see that, like, when people want to throw in the towel when they're trying to reach their goals, like, I wanted to show that side of me, like the real side, like the really hard days, and like days I would just come home and cry. You know what I mean? Like, or just when you're depressed or you feel like, man, I'm so stupid doing this. Like, it'll never happen for me. Like, I had a lot of those days. Like, if I told you that I didn't, I would be lying. But I would always get back up on the horse and keep moving forward. And
That
part
makes
of
the
the
difference.
Absolutely. And part of the reason too was it kind of kept me accountable. Because I knew that people were depending on me, because I would get messages all the time saying, "Oh, you're so inspiring. I love what you're doing." And that those times when I was having a hard time, or I was depressed, or things didn't go my way, it I knew people were depending on. I was depending on myself, but I knew that other people were depending on me too. Which I guess leads to an interesting thing you brought up. I don't do it anymore. And there's a few reasons for that. My first reason is I stopped on day 900. I filmed every single day a video. I think maybe once or twice I filmed a video like the next morning because I didn't have like cell phone reception or
Yeah,
or
some
something.
actual really good reason. Yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, other than I still talked about what happened every day. But I figured that I had 900 days of failure documented, and that's over 2 years. That's almost 3 years. And I think that's going to be enough when I reach my goal. And honestly, towards the end, like, I started growing past that desire, like, just to win a Grammy. Like, I realized that my life doesn't have value just because, you know what I mean? So
Exactly.
I kind of grew past that. Like, that's still on my list. That's still something I really want to do, but I'm happy regardless. So I have other goals that I want to reach, and frankly, with coronavirus and the quarantine, I don't know how many videos I can post every single day saying, "Hey, I'm stuck in my house again. I wrote a song, but I'm stuck in my house."
No, I gotta hear that, man. I
That's not
mean,
really something I think that people.
it's a
So I
difficult.
may one day, but sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
No, you're
What were you
good, man. I was
saying?
just saying it's a difficult time with the COVID. So I mean, but you're still moving forward, obviously.
Oh, yeah,
In your
absolutely.
music.
I'm working on so many things, man. So, like right now I'm working on growing my following and really connecting with people. Like, I've been on TikTok a lot, the social media app. And in the last week I've grown to 12,000 followers as of today. Not even a week. It's been 6
Wow.
days. So, and the whole reason I'm doing that is because I don't have a huge marketing budget. Like I'm not a signed artist, so I don't have a record label behind me, or some kind of investor helping me to market things, and I'm doing everything myself. So the possibility for organic growth, like in a place like that, is just incredible. So that's one thing like I've been really putting my time into, and just really there's a lot of things that go on behind the scenes that you would never guess, you know.
That's amazing, man. I mean, that's the incredible part is what happens behind the scenes. And the cool thing is, I keep hearing things, it's even from my own walk and my own, trip towards my dream is the realization that everything could change in not even just a day, but in a moment. Like you could be playing somewhere. I tell my brother this the same thing. You could be playing somewhere and the right person, call it destiny, call whatever you will, comes in because you're positive and you're embracing and you're moving in that direction, doing everything you love doing and enjoying it. And that energy, like I said, I go back to the energy, the magnets, it attracts you. I feel personally the universe does that a lot. And you embrace it, you're grateful and you're moving and you already are living your dream like your mindset, you get to a point where that's going to happen. Someone's just going to sit there and then you're going to get your big deal. Like the movie, with Bradley Cooper. It's a sad movie, but the point is,
And Lady Gaga, is that
yeah, that one.
A Star Is Born.
Star Is Born. Thank you, that one. So it's just like that movie where she was, he happened to go to this bar and hear her sing, and he fell in love with her, obviously. But the point is, she became a star after that. And that was just a moment. That was a guy trying to get drunk who was famous, happened to be there and happened to be piqued, and his heart got lit up by this woman and her talent. So I mean, that part I truly believe is real, and it happens in real life. And I know that you're going to be there and you're going to have all of this behind the scenes to add and poof up your story, and the impact it's going to make is going to be even bigger because of the fact you weren't like, so, no offense, but some stars are just kind of like their dad or their mom was famous. They're just automatically put into this platform of fame and success. Not saying those things like necessarily matter, but it makes it easier for those people. And that's just the fact of the matter. But there's a lot of
pop stars today. I'm not going to say any names.
Exactly.
I like a lot of them.
Yeah, of course.
There's an advantage there.
Yeah, you can't compare. That's what you got. That's my problem sometimes too. We compare to these people when they don't have the same brain. But when you come down to it, who's on a stage, who's performing, and your bio, you read bios of these people, and they're really dry. And a lot of times they have to make up stuff. Or like their biggest catastrophe was like, I dropped all the contents out of my Louis Vuitton purse. Like, no offense, but they don't have the struggle and the story of real life. You know what I mean? I know they're real life, but they have very different struggles. And I think there's a lot more to say when you climb a very tall mountain and you go through all the struggles of getting there. And then that feeling when you get to the top finally, you enjoy the view of your success and all the things. But what makes that moment is the fact that you endured so much and that you fought through it and you made it there. If you were somehow safely dropped from a plane onto the peak of a mountain, I personally think it would take away from the power of that moment.
Oh, absolutely.
The people
that just handed it to you.
Exactly. And that's the point I'm trying to make. So I think that day is coming for you. And I think greatness is not an ocean, it's a well, or it's a glass of water that hydrates yourself. But a well is something you can keep going into. It's ready to drink. And it doesn't matter about the size. It can hydrate an entire village, hydrate an entire city, whatever the case is. But it's not an ocean. Everyone looks at it like, oh, well, I want to be big. It's more personal. It's more interconnected. It's something that really is ever giving and not just,
absolutely
a star, which is just a mark of its bitter impermanence. So, yeah, man.
I do want to add something.
Yeah.
Though, just like being an artist and being in the industry and seeing things, it's very good to work hard, but working hard doesn't always get you there too. Like sometimes you have to use your resources and be strategic and work smart. Like I would never hold it against, for example, those pop stars or artists that have more advantages because they're using, what they have. They're working smart. I can work hard all day long and do the wrong things and not succeed. I'll give you the perfect example. Like I love that movie, A Star Is Born. It's one of my favorite movies. But like the whole mentality of being discovered. I mean, it happens. It's very, very rare. It's very rare. Most of the time, you know, people aren't discovered like that anymore. Like you have to get
No.
out and hustle and fans and make somebody want to notice you. I guess is the point. Like nobody's
Exactly.
gonna show R and be like, I want to sign this guy. Like those days in the music industry are over. So I really think it's about education and working hard, but working smart. Absolutely.
Wise advice, man. I mean, the best advice comes from the people who are, you know, are in it, living it. If I've never been to the ocean, I'm not gonna try to tell anyone about what the ocean's like. So, that's what this is all about too. It's taking people in different communities and facets of success and having them share their own personal insights because the experts are the experts. That goes
Well,
back to what you
you're
said
definitely
earlier.
right too, though. Like you're correct with the hard work and the. I mean, that's your drive.
Oh yeah,
That's
of
your.
course.
You got to have your why, or you're going to get burnt out. Like that's really important. But I just wanted to add, work. I think it's really important to work smart.
No, I absolutely agree, man. I think it's a
Um,
delta, and both things are necessary for that success. And talking about you personally again, in the intro, I said American Idol finalist, and that's something is obviously big in your heart, and it's a huge accomplishment and success, and the experience was incredible. And I remember watching you on the show, and I remember asking you about it. It was just amazing, man. I'm just like, I know him. I'm best friends with this guy right here. Hey, so that was
that's so
special
cool.
too. So, but it's different when it's you. So was this moment, was this the moment when you knew that like, wow, like music is it for me? I'm where I'm supposed to be. Like I'm obviously liked by other people. Like this is a reassurance even more so because I know like when we do things, it's human nature. We feel like we're better when we get the acknowledgement and acceptance and appreciation and praise of others, which is natural. But we have to love ourselves too. But this moment is something where your natural talent was just truly, truly appreciated, in my opinion. And that
Well,
success
thank you, man.
is just, yeah, man, that's success is just a title that you can hang on the walls of your heart
I
forever.
I
And
made it into the top 90 in season 14 of American Idol, so I'm really proud of that. What I've liked to done better, yeah, but it's I would like I said, I wouldn't be the person I am today if I didn't try out for that show, and like it taught me a lot about myself. Are you ready for the good, bad, and the ugly?
oh,
Because I'm
yes.
gonna be totally honest with you. So after trying out for the show, this is like 5 years ago. Yeah, that was like what 5 years ago. Actually six. It aired 5 years ago. I after getting eliminated, man, I went into this deep spiraling depression. Like I didn't want to do music anymore. Um, yeah, it just I didn't realize that it was a good experience at the time, but I felt like it was pretty much over for me. Maybe that was a little dramatic, obviously, but tell you what really got me back up on my high horse was I ended up going to Los Angeles for a mentorship with Kenny G and Babyface and Walter Afanasieff and Randy Jackson. And man, I learned so much. It's kind of like, how things happen to, like, I would not be on the path that I'm on today. I'm certain if that didn't happen right after American Idol, because it was cool, but it was really hard for me. Like I felt like I had failed because my very first audition, I made Jennifer Lopez cry. Like I'd really moved. Like the judges loved me, and then to not have those same highs like in the competition, like it truly is Hell Week. Hollywood Week is Hell Week. It's really hard. They do everything they can to stress you out and see how resilient you are.
Yeah.
Um, and getting eliminated from that was. I don't think I talked about it publicly. Um, at the time. Like I've told people since then, over the last few years, but it was hard for me. Like I didn't want to do music anymore. And so I got this call. It'd been about 6 months maybe since the show had aired, maybe a year. I mean, I lose track of time. And I got this call for the mentorship. And it's funny because before I got the call, I had applied for the mentorship I think 2 years previously, and I'd never heard anything. I totally forgot about it. And it just made me realize how much I love music and being on this show, even though the show never aired. It was a pilot season of a reality show. I
Right.
lived in this huge mansion in Beverly Hills, and I met all these other people who were like-minded and had the same love that I did. And it wasn't in the same setting where you're stuck in a room with them for 10 hours, like American Idol, and you're stressed out. Like it was almost therapeutic. It was an oasis for me, just to be and learning and growing my craft, and learning from some of the greatest people in the industry that have ever been, in the modern music industry. So
No,
sorry if I got off.
No, man, that's perfect in line. There was another thing I wanted to talk about, and so I remember when you were there, and I was living in San Diego when we tried to connect. But I know that we were both extremely busy at that time. You with that, me with other engagements, but I mean, I was always impressed, and I remember watching the stories of you in that mansion there. It looked nice, and the people you were just so happy. You could tell through your smile that you were
Oh man, it
loving every
was.
minute of it. It is such a crazy experience. We talked about before. You learn from the best, and then that's how you get better. So you were there and back on the American Idol aspect, man. I mean, I can imagine, where you sit there, but from everyone on the outside of you, I want to make sure to say, man. I mean, that like I was saying in the beginning is huge. It's so impressive, and because look at how many people are on that show, how many audition. You know what I mean? So really, it goes back to what I told my brother when he plays, and I've told you a million times, like acknowledge that. I mean, really swallow that and taste it, and like you're tasting wine, and truly enjoy sipping on that glass of success that really is inspiring, man. I mean, and it goes back to I remember when I was in California. I forget where it was. I was out to eat, and your song came on the radio actually. And I remember pulling out my phone and like literally recording it and immediately
That's
sending
so
it to
cool.
you. Yeah, you remember that? And
I do remember that. I was like, wow, how did that even happen? That was so cool.
it was
Um,
amazing. It was like on social media. I think I posted about it. It was the song that I just played, "Out of Heaven," but with Dr. Rude, and it was so cool. I just love that.
Thank you, man. I really appreciate your support and love. And, I feel like you're one of the people, you're my friend, but you're also like a supporter. Like you're there helping me along, because it's not an easy path. Like I said, being an artist, but like hearing stories like that and just how you were so excited, like that makes me excited. It's like, man, when's the next high? Like, and that's what I'm constantly working towards, is the next peak, you know. So
No,
that's crazy, man.
no, I'm happy that it brought light to you, man. I mean, like it was just awesome, and I could tell it made you happy when we sent it. You actually said to me, I remember you were like, I actually thought that the song was my like worst vocals, and I was like, what? If this is your worst vocals, I mean, the world better just hold on and buckle up because I think it's amazing, and it's awesome because it's done pretty well, and this experience, I imagine even working with that song and watching it become successful is another thing that you can hang on the walls of your heart. So is this song like, did you help write this? Tell me more about this particular song.
So I was behind it, the idea, the whole concept, and I worked um, with this guy who had contacted me from Sweden.
Oh
His
wow,
name is
okay.
Ivar Lazinski, and it just, it's crazy because I can't even tell you how everything happened. And then a dance label um, over in the Netherlands, the biggest dance level, I think it's Q Dance. That's horrible
Hmm.
that I don't know sure of the name of them. They had picked it up, they really liked it, and then a DJ named Dr. Rude, who does hard style electronic dance music. just picked it up and it exploded, man. And honestly, like it's funny because it's not my particular style of music. Like the music I make now is way different. I don't really do dance music.
Right.
But I realized too, like even like it goes back to me telling you I hated my vocals, like I hated the performance. I realize now I don't make music necessarily just for me. I make it for the world, and it's really up to the people to decide, I like that. I don't like that. That moves me. That doesn't move me, So
Exactly. I mean,
I
I
hope
love
I
it. I love it. So, and obviously the world does too. I mean, because it's playing on a radio in California, and you're from South Carolina. So I mean, it's you know, it's definitely well liked. Put it that way.
I had no idea that it was on the radio. So that, I mean, until you told me, like, I literally had no idea that people in the United, like, I knew that it was really big over in Europe. Like, the
Right.
song was really successful, like in Germany and Sweden and places like that, but not necessarily in the United States. So that was mind blowing to me to
Yeah,
be
man.
like,
I mean,
wow,
it was for me too, man.
music's global, man. It's global. It
Oh no,
truly
that's the
is.
best part about it, too, man. You globalize, the song. So I mean, that's again, you have like literally a room in your heart dedicated to these things. You need to, you can walk into whenever you're feeling down and just look at it and be like, wow, I had these goals written down, whatever the case was, visions, even some that I didn't even realize would ever come into fruition, and they happened. Visit that room, and I think a lot of people need to do that more often and count the good times and the success that you've had that you never thought you. Like me being in Europe, for example, I've always dreamed of living over here and traveling, and among other things, and publishing my book. I did both those things, and when I feel down, I often visit those times where I have reminders. I have postcards and magnets in my fridge, postcards behind my bed. And the reason I do that is because these are symbols for me. If I feel down for whatever reason, I look there and I'm like, you know what? There was a time when I felt worse, and I thought that the life I'm living now, I was never going to live. I was never going to do these things, accomplish these things, but I did. So I have to be grateful for those accomplishments and be more gentle with myself, because I think we all have a little person living inside us. We need to cater to, be kind, and almost like a self-parent to that inner child in all of us that needs to hear, I believe in you. It needs to hear that, well done, you did it, you're going to keep doing it. And
Absolutely.
you
You need
have
to
that,
even tell
man.
yourself that if nobody else tells you. And that's what I,
Exactly.
you know, is just to keep going. And if I appreciate my highs, like when I hit the top of a goal or whatever, but I don't stop working. It's like, okay, appreciate it for like 5 minutes and then, you know, back at it. Like we got to go, and
It's easy
I
to
think
do that. You got to nurture, but it's
nurture,
easy to do that when you're such a you have goal oriented minds. We're always working towards the next peak. So, but I mean, it is something, I have to work on myself more, and it's just helpful. It's just like eating or drinking. You got to hydrate yourself with the substance of success as well, and failure, whatever you learn from
absolutely.
both.
I think I need to be more like you in that way, man. You're inspiring. Like I'm really hard on myself sometimes, like no critic is usually harder on me than I am.
Brother, let me take the helmet of Troy off for a moment and reveal that I also have those moments when I am just like looking at myself as if I'm an ant to a tidal wave. I definitely am the same in that regard, and it takes like inspiration, inspiring people like you inspire me, I inspire you. So it works both ways to do that. And one of my mentors, he said a really good quote, and basically, in essence, at the end of it, he says that when you're growing success, you're growing yourself, you not only need to take care and nurture yourself, but you need, like the sun is outside of yourself, you need to welcome the sunlight of other people to help grow you, to help your spirits and your heart, etc. So that's in essence what this podcast I'm trying to do with it, and just having relationships with people that are like-minded, motivated, inspiring, is to offer and receive that that positivity, that emanation of you know inner inspiration. I'll put it that way.
And that's all over you, man. It's in everything you do. Truly, you're an incredible person.
I
I'm honored.
appreciate that, man.
I'm honored that you would even invite me to be here and be a part of this. Like, I'm really honored. Thank you.
Oh man, I appreciate it so much. That made my my week, brother. And I'm honored that you're willing to share your story and to come on the show, because I'm honored to have you on it. And I know that through it, I'm going to go on Spotify here shortly and hopefully reach even more people that your story and this. And I'll share the links to social media and YouTube videos, etc. when I post this. It's going to really touch people, man. It's just a fact. And all it takes is one gush of wind to put out a torch. But if you have a torch burning with the right materials, it's going to go right on through in the hands of the person that's going to guide people. So your story, your motivation, who you are, is really a torch that's going to be used to illuminate so many corridors to success for other people. So
That's cool, man.
So what's next? You said you're working on a song. Is it a collaboration, something you wrote yourself?
So the last few years, Out of Heaven came out 2 or 3 years ago, and after I finished with my mentorship in LA, I kind of was working behind the scenes for other people. I'd been writing a lot, but I wasn't really releasing anything new. I did have a new song that came out on June 7th, called Say.
Oh, okay. I saw that.
It's like a soul pop type song. And there's going to be more releases in the very near future. So coronavirus and the quarantine and everything that's going on has changed my plans a little bit. I was going to release a whole EP and then tour. I've been planning a tour for forever, and it was literally right around the corner, about to come to fruition. And then everything went to hell.
Like, bro, you're telling me all these trips I had planned.
I'm sorry, man. I know it's tough. It's tough for a lot of people. It's affected people's plans and their careers. And I'm still like writing and recording. I'm going to record a new song this week. And I'm just kind of taking my time with it and planning everything. And I'm going to make a music video and get everything ready before I drop it.
What? That's awesome.
Yeah, so it's really cool. Like, I even plan on making a music video for the song that I dropped actually a month ago today, because it is July 7th. It's just kind of a slow process until things change. I don't want to release everything fast and then people aren't excited about the music anymore, and then they're not excited about the tour. So but yeah, actually, it's interesting. The song that I just released last month, Say, I wrote it 2 years ago, and I wasn't going to release it because I didn't like the song. I tend to do that with every song. Actually, it's never finished. They're never good enough to shake me and be like, it's good enough. Just release it. It was a song that I wrote about being gay, and I'm also non-binary, and being a queer person, and the oppression from society. And I wasn't going to release the song because I thought maybe this is like just personal to me, like I don't know, which was totally the wrong mentality at the time. I just wasn't ready to release it. But then one of the producers who worked on the song with me, with everything that's going on in the world and the Black Lives Matter movement. And I'm not going to get like too heavy into politics or anything like that.
No, yeah.
Just explain like the reason I chose to release the song. I think it's a song that a lot of people who are hurting and feel oppressed by society need to hear. And so I decided to release it. So we'll see where it goes. So far, I have like 500 streams total on Spotify. That's horrible compared to like my last.
I'm
But
excited for the music video. I mean, I've heard the song. I love that too. Out of Heaven's my personal favorite of yours. But the meaning behind you can truly feel your soul behind your music, and that's one of the things that I want to get into is one with the difficulties of the music industry and the different struggles you've had in life. You're choosing to use music as your vehicle to inspire others to overcome these obstacles, which is amazing. And I encourage everyone to go listen to it on Spotify and be encouraged, especially during this time, in every facet. And you're a prime example. You're happily married now, and Judd's a great guy, and
oh my gosh, he's amazing.
he's
He's the
amazing,
best
man. And I
that's ever
never
happened.
actually. We need to plan something. We all hang out, man. Like you guys come to Italy, whatever the case is, some point.
I definitely want to when the world isn't so crazy.
Open door, brother.
Um,
Open door for you guys.
and if you come here, I know you have family here too, but you always have a place to stay. So
I appreciate
um,
that, man. I definitely will. And once this clears up, I mean, you just have to. I'll be here for a couple of years, so plenty of time. And what I was getting to is, you that in alone is a stride for pride. I'm not trying to be rhyming here, but maybe I should be a rapper. But love is love, and the movements that are going on with the LGBT community, and your music, you say, inspires other people who are afraid of owning who they are, and we talked about that earlier. And I'm just so happy and grateful that you share your son and strength with other people, man. I mean, and you both, people can see that on your social media, are just such an embodiment of if love, was a person. It doesn't have a gender, it doesn't have a face necessarily. It's a definition. It's an action. It's a noun. It's all these things, and it truly emanates through souls. And I think that that's very obvious with you guys and your relationship, and so many others. And I get behind the Love is Love movement just because it's so simple and so true. It's literally held between two souls. It has nothing to do with anything else. So I absolutely love I love you guys. So excited for you to get out here, and excited that your music and you are just helping other people, encouraging other people in this community and outside of it, every community.
thank
So
you, man. And thank you for being an ally. You're amazing. You're an incredible human.
I
I
appreciate that,
really,
man. I mean, you can always. I mean, I've hoped that through our time and relationship together and friendship that you've noticed that you can
oh,
always count on
always,
me as an ally, man. I know that you do the same thing for me, man. So it's good. So
always.
yeah, man, well, like all this inspiration you got and motivation. So I have to ask, I like asking this question. What or who is your biggest inspiration, and why? Like a mentor or whatever the case is.
Oh God, that's hard. I mean, in what realm? Because, like in my personal life, my my husband is incredible because he's always pushing me to be my best. Like musically, I have so many influences.
Of
I
course.
love I love Adele. I think
Uh,
she's I think she's the best thing that's happened since Whitney Houston.
she's
Um,
amazing, man.
yeah, man, I draw inspiration from so many places. I love Aretha. Um, gosh, I even love like '90s rock, like Creed. I draw a lot of inspiration from that, but ultimately, like my hero, like who is still living today, that I just love, and she can do no wrong. That's not true. She's human, but would be Adele. I just love Adele.
That's awesome, man. I was in Paris not long ago, and I was
And
in
sweet.
one of the music videos of one of her big songs. I'm horrible with remembering song names, honestly. But I remember being there, and I recognized where I was walking. I was in one of her videos. It was a powerful song she has, and it was just a cool moment. She is like that person. She's very inspiring. You guys, it's cool because you have that in common. So I definitely get how mentor mentee can be very it's a sign that you are emulating someone and becoming like that person. So if you choose, be wise of who you choose to be your mentor. That's what I always say. So that's awesome, man. I love that you have multiple sources too, because I think that's important to have a diverse area of mentors. You said your personal life and music, so it's good to have that mix because they are different. And
It's kind of funny, like everyone who listens to my demos, like if I show someone a song demo of something I just wrote, like just raw, they're
Yeah.
like, "Oh my, it sounds like it has Adele influences." Like you can really, it's heavy in my art.
Yeah, it's that powerful angelic voice, man. You guys share that too, so that's what it is.
Thank you, man. Thank you. That's so kind of you to say.
Yeah, man. I mean, I love it. So, I mean, and speaking of diversity, man, I've noticed on social media, this is just a side question. You started baking, man, and you're like, it sucks I'm not in South Carolina because, I'm a huge fan of cheesecake. Being from the Northeast, New York City style cheesecake. Like every year for my birthday, man, I get a cheesecake, New York style, with raspberry and chocolate drizzle. It's just like, man, it's like definitely my dessert weakness. Over here in Italy, it doesn't help my being a nutritionist, man. It's wow. I'll go ahead and admit
All
it.
the great food.
Yeah, I'll go ahead and admit it. Cannoli in Sicily, wherever I go, I love to indulge in the great food. But tell me about this bacon, man. So it's just a side passion you like. I know you're making for other people.
So, like the coronavirus when it hit really messed with my income stream. Like like it did a lot of people, and I wanted to get creative with ways to fund my music. Right now, where I'm at in my music career is not as profitable as it has been in the past. So I still want to continue releasing music to the world. So I had to get creative, and I wanted to do like a fundraiser.
Right.
And so I know how to make a pretty decent cheesecake. And I just put it out there, and then, oh my gosh, man, it started to explode. Like people here want me to a cheesecakery or like a bakery or something, and
That's amazing, man. I mean, when I come there or you come here,
it's exploded.
they have ingredients here. That's all
I'll
I'll say.
make you one.
I don't want you to like be my guest and host you. Be like, hey
No,
guys, so happy to
no,
see you. Make me a
no.
cheesecake.
When's your birthday, man?
My birthday is December 22nd, so it's right before Christmas.
Okay, well if I'm gonna make it for you anyway, but we'll just call it your birthday cheesecake.
No, I appreciate that, man. It's gonna be
I see
awesome.
you.
Hopefully, I'll be able to get home and try it actually. So
Actually, that would be perfect. So like if you come here before we get up there over to Italy, then absolutely, man, let me know, and I'll make sure that you get a free cheesecake.
right on. I'm looking forward to that, man. Oh, jeez. Definitely, like I said, that's my weakness is desserts, like gelato here and tiramisu. Oh my gosh. Moving on from desserts now, I digress. But
Yeah,
so
I'm on a diet. That's hard.
yeah, I mean, me too. So, but I always tell my clients, never. Yes, you have a nutrition. I make you nutrition recommendations and guides, but the key to it is not to be so like hyper focused on these like stupid diets that are out by people that aren't even certified. Telling people that don't eat or cut all of this. No, you still enjoy life and food. Food's great, and you can still do it. You just got to be abstemious. You got to do things in moderation. Like Dwayne Johnson's one of my favorite people to follow with fitness. Slays it in the gym, obviously, but when it comes to nutrition, the guy eats insanely healthy throughout the week, a lot of food, but he has a cheat day, and the cheat day is anatomically proven to be helpful with things. He eats a whole chocolate cake one time, and like a plate full of pancakes. It's like literally a mountain of carbs. But the point is, you can still look great, feel great, and be healthy, but enjoy the things in life that you love. So don't be too crazy and hyper focused on your dream, whatever it is in life, that you forget to enjoy it. I feel like that happens so much, even myself. I'm so focused on doing so many things that I don't stop to
Me
necessarily
too. I can
breathe it
relate,
in.
man.
Yeah, you gotta let it marinate. It's like like I told you, you gotta sip it like wine. Really enjoy it. Drink it slow. So the last three questions I got for you, man, I asked everyone I interviewed, and I like them. They're pretty cool questions, and the responses I get, I think, are awesome. So the first one is, let's say somehow you were given a wish from a genie, from God, whatever the case is, universe, that you could change one thing about the world and one thing only. What would you change?
Oh God, I think that my answer would change with every season. Right now, um, I would get rid of all the racism in the world and all the chaos.
Preach, brother,
That
preach.
that's just one thing that really hurts my heart. I have a lot of friends who are Black and people of color, and just hearing their stories, not to be negative or like sad or make anyone sad. I want to end on a high note, but that's one thing I would change.
No, mine too, man. I second that, and I think we're on something in our country with the biggest movement in history on our soil. So hopefully it continues, and people use this time to emulate, like Dr. King. Actually do it in a way, and Mandela do in a way that really has a lasting change. I want it to be a deeper change than even in the past, because as amazing as those people, those guys, those gentlemen are, and will always be, the problem still exists. So we really need to get deeper down into the root and really uproot this shit and change America and truly make America greater. And that's going to be with unity and equality, and not treating it with like
Absolutely.
fire with fire. You gotta. The only thing that's really going to win out is love, knowledge, and acknowledgement of the fact that we're not apples to oranges. We're all the same. We're all human beings, and we have our differences, but our differences are what make us beautiful. Like a flower, a rose is different than a hibiscus, and they're both beautiful in their own way, but they're still flower. So we have to really get down to that, and I think that's a really good answer, man. The second one I have is, imagine everyone in the whole world is listening right now. What's the one thing that you would make sure every ear heard from
Wow, that's a tough question. I would say be true to yourself. Don't live a lie, be your authentic self, because someday we're all going to be on our deathbed and we're going to look back. And, that's, I think, the best form of having no regrets is living your best life, and doing, I want to add to that, doing the right thing.
you?
Doing what you believe in your heart is the right thing for the world around you and in your communities. And, the golden rule.
Yes. No, it truly is the golden rule, man.
Live in an age of narcissists who are addicted to social media.
Yeah. I mean, I use it as a platform. Obviously, it's quite necessary in a lot of realms, but I hate the fact that when I'm on it, I feel like the Greek god and narcissist staring at my reflection in the water, and then I miss the beautiful love of my life standing behind me, just like, why are you looking at you when I'm over here way more beautiful than you are? And I
You're
have
definitely
so
not a
much to offer you.
narcissist, though, man.
No, I know, but like,
Definitely not.
you know
It's a
what I mean?
necessary tool.
Yeah,
I
it
can
just
relate
gives
because
you.
I have to use it. Like
Yeah, of
growing
course.
TikTok like crazy. Like, is it my favorite thing to do in the whole world? No, but that
No.
you have to be active with your fans and on social media. Like, I love the aspect of connecting with people. So, like, that's really one thing that stands out. But I don't like how society is shifting towards like kind of being a little narcissistic.
Right.
So that's to that golden rule, and check yourself. We all screw up, Sometimes it's good to check yourself and make sure that you're being kind. Above all, that's the most important thing.
No, I agree. That's absolutely kindness. It makes the world a better place. So kindness and love. I mean, it sounds cliche, but it's literally true when you take it away from the noun and make it a verb and an action. The last question I got, man, is more on your daily routine. So I always talk about with success, you need consistency. You need to really keep hitting it like anything else. You need to keep practicing to get better, and repetition makes the master. That's one of my favorite quotes from a book called The Four Agreements, and Miguel Ruiz. And it's just so true that practice makes the master, repetition makes the master, doing things often that you want to become better at. So what does your daily routine look like,
So
every morning, every night, whatever the case is?
this is a funny question because my answer is going to be different from 90%, more than that probably, of, well, no, that's not true. A lot of creatives are like me, but a lot of people are like on a tight schedule. So
Right.
I work 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 hours a day. I take days off occasionally, but like right now I'm working really hard. I live in a state of creative chaos and anxiety, but it works for me. it actually feeds my art, and keeps me creative. Like my routine changes every day. I can't stand living, you know, like a life where I do the same thing every day. I think that's why I'm veering towards a music career and veering away from like a traditional 9 to 5. Like those work for a lot of people and make them successful. That model does not work for me. So like after I get off this podcast, I'm gonna spend like the next 6 hours making TikTok videos,
Right.
and tomorrow I might record a song. Like it's not like I don't have a schedule where like, okay, 10 a.m. I mean, I do. Like I know that tomorrow I'll record a song at like 10 a.m. and I'm going to the studio, but it changes. It's just about being responsible, and I think keeping a schedule helps. So I kind of, I have my schedule. Like people ask me to do interviews or podcasts, or if I'm going to the studio or I'm playing a gig or a show somewhere. But other than that, pure creative chaos. Just
No, man. I mean, I'm glad you answered that way because the main thing was repetition, practice makes a master with what you're doing, and you obviously do that with your craft. But what I wanted to express, I'm glad that you answered that, and you're right. It's usually not that response, but being open to or being malleable to change and anti-monotony is, I think, also vital to success. And I think that, I'll give a little sneak peek to the second book in my series, The Cardinal Cure. After the memory, there's the dream. And in the dream, I open up with a story. So imagine you're in a park and this little boy is upset because the leaves are falling off the tree. It's autumn, obviously. And he's like crying. He's trying to glue these leaves back to the branches. And this old man sitting on a bench, he walks over to the boy and he starts helping him pick up the leaves and glue them to the tree. And he takes the little boy, like a grandpa kind of a deal, and sits him on the bench and asks him why he's so sad. He said, because the leaves are falling. And the old man basically, in short, describes him as like, have you seen this park or this tree in the winter? Have you seen it in the summer? Have you seen the flowers? Have you seen the snow on the branches and the way it looks? So I think that in life, what the point I'm making in my book and now is that the seasons in life are what make it beautiful. When, I also hate living somewhere where it's the same temperature every day. It sucks. For me, I like change. I like to enjoy all the seasons in life. I like to enjoy as much diversity. And I think that what you said is powerful. And then you truly get the most out of life when you're not, caged. A lion in a cage is still a lion. But I mean, design reveals destiny, and a lion's not meant to be in a cage. So, and we as human beings with creative minds, especially, are not meant to be in the environs of some kind of a strict regimen. It's really impossible to follow certain like daily routines perfectly, and then still be able to cater to your creativity and success. So I'm really happy that you shared that, man. And that's all the last question I got. And I just want to express again how grateful I am on the show. And, I loved every minute of it. I know a lot of people are going to get inspired from it. And I need to get, if you have like a poster or something of you, or I don't really do CDs anymore. What the heck? But something that I can have, that I can hang on the wall of the studio, little signature for you. I love having that representation there, of the
absolutely,
people
man.
I
I'll
interview.
send you something.
That'd be amazing, man. And like I said, when I post this on the website, YouTube channel, send me any links or anything you want me to add on that. And I'm going to direct people to Spotify, etc., because they need to hear your music. They need to hear your story, because I know it's going to reach far and deep and wide. So, man, just keep doing what you're doing, and visit that room in your heart with all the trophies of your success and those accolades, man. Visit it often, because you're an awesome person. You deserve to smile a hell of a lot more than you ever frown. So just enjoy the rest of your day, man, and just remember that. And I thank you so much for, again, taking the time to come on the show.
Man, it's my pleasure. I'm honored to be here. You're an inspiration to me, and I really look up to you. So,
Thank you,
just to
brother. And
be
the feeling's mutual. I look up to you, and you're an inspiration to me. And I know so many other people. And I hope that this Ignited podcast with Auxiluim, really takes off. And I see it taking off, and I see it making differences. And that's the beautiful part about it, is to just enable it to be a microphone to announce these things to people that really need to hear it. And I think that the wind blows seeds and they land and plant where they're meant to land and plant. So we'll
Absolutely.
see, man. But
Thank you for having me.
of course, man, it was an absolute pleasure and honor, and I wish you the best today. And let's stay in touch, man.
Absolutely. I got my eye on you. I'm following
Hey,
you on social.
vice versa, brother. Vice versa.
keep aiming for the stars, man. There's no doubt in my mind. I can't wait to see everything that you're doing and to see it grow and to see you grow in your success. It's inevitable. It's going to happen.
Thank you, brother. Absolutely. I have to have that vision, and you know, I share that confidence and optimism, and you know, it's just more so. I think we both with the patience. Sometimes it's harder.
Mm-hmm. It is.
But yeah, man, I definitely appreciate it, and as always, you know, the theme here is fitness of the mind and the body, and just to ignite dreams. So I always leave it with, let's get ignited, because I want everyone to hear this, be inspired, and to take off and just have an explosion of success.
You're an inspiration, man. Thank you for having me.
Yes, sir.
We'll
Thanks for
talk.
coming on the show, man.